going to try something that was recommended to me by a guy at work who said, when it comes to starting the bike, have you held the clutch in? And I said, that's a stupid idea. Clutch, I've got the kickstand up, it's in neutral, you know, it should start okay. But he said, no, hold the clutch in too, because a lot of modern bikes now you have to hold the clutch in. We're going to try this. Come out of the way, baby, because this, wait, go that way, because this could be noisy and loud. If this works, I'm going to be in equal parts furious, but also delighted. But I don't think it's going to work. So, we're in neutral, kickstand up, kill switch is not engaged, that's fine. How you doing? And let's see. No, nothing. Didn't work. Ah, beggar. Sure, pal.
Yeah.
Well, back to the drawing board, and we'll see what else we can do to get this thing running. Ah, right. Shift your butt. Stop waving at the camera like a fool. So, hello again from the garage. It feels like everything's been tried that can be tried so far by myself with my limited knowledge. And nothing seems to be working yet. It's cranking, but it's not turning over. So I even had a suggestion that the fuel tank, you expose the fuel tank because there might be a vacuum in there, which causes the engine to think the tank's empty, which it's not. It's 3/4 full. So I lifted the lid up to let them air in. There was no vacuum sound, so I don't think it's that. And the fuses and the relays here as well too seem to be okay. So I don't think it's that either. So now it's kind of like a kind of waiting game. I've got a friend of mine coming around who has owned 2 of these bikes. He should be here in the next kind of half hour or so. And he's going to give me some advice. He's going to have a look at the bike and see what he can think could be the issue to get it started. I wonder if maybe the battery's not powerful enough, because this is the old battery in here, not the new battery. So I wonder if it's not been charged enough, it's not giving enough power, although it sounds like it is. We'll maybe need to get that tested out. But in the meantime, it's a waiting game for my friend Ryan to arrive, so I'll keep you updated. Hello everyone, here's a quick update on what we've covered today with the bike. So I had my friend Boot round to give me a hand, and we've made some huge progress. Essentially, one of the big problems we had was when the key was being turned on, the fuel pump wasn't engaging. Now, when you turn the key on now, you should hear, I don't know if you heard that, but fuel pump is now engaging. Also, there was a lot of fuel in here, and it's also registering here on the level, which it wasn't doing before. And this is all down here, this little switch box here. Pulled it apart, and it was absolutely caked in like green mold and like just foosed basically. So pulled it apart, gave the connectors a good clean. These connectors in here are the connector to the fuel pump and also to the levels in the tank, which weren't registered obviously because the signal wasn't getting passed through here. All clean now, back together again. That all seems to work fine when it comes to the fuel pump, levels, everything else. So we turned it on and it briefly started, which was so exciting. I wish I caught it on camera. However, it lasted for like 20 seconds and then died again. It was gone. Kept cranking. We kept cranking, kept trying, and that's why the battery's now back on a trickle charge, because we cranked the hell of it so much the battery got pretty much drained. So the only thing we did then was check the fuel lines, and they were passing fuel. There was no problems with the connections there. They were passing fine. However, when we tested the fuel coming out of those lines, didn't really smell like fuel. Smelled really, really watery. So the assumption was there was still fuel in that tank that I hadn't cleared out from buying the bike. The bike's been sitting doing nothing for maybe a year. That fuel has just turned to water almost. It was rubbish. basically. So we drained it out. See that bucket there? That's some of the remains of the drained out fuel there. It looks a little bit red because I added a wee bit of red X to the tank before that. But even with that bucket there should be a smell of fuel coming from that. There's a really, really faint, and that's at the best. So definitely the fuel was knackered. So the thinking is, the reason why it started was because there was still fuel in the line maybe that was active, that kicked off, and then as it pulled through the crappy fuel, that's when it wouldn't work anymore. Basically trying to start the bike on water, if you will, almost. So, where it stands now is, so this is now later on Saturday evening. I'm going to leave this to trickle charge overnight. The tank, we took the tank off the bike and completely drained the fuel out of there, so that's all empty now as well too. I couldn't get fuel to put back in tonight because the nearby garage is closed. I could have travelled to nearby Inverurie, but I really didn't really have time, so going to let it charge overnight, put fuel in there tomorrow, get everything set back up again to start. If it starts tomorrow, fingers crossed, if it starts tomorrow with fresh fuel, then we are on the winning path. Essentially then, if that starts with fresh fuel, apart from this air filter, which I'm going to change hopefully maybe tomorrow or the day after as well, this will be nearly good for the MOT, which means give it a good clean so that it looks a bit, neater as it goes in for the MOT, because you don't want to put a manky bike in for the MOT, because straight away that's raising alarm bells in the tester's head and they're looking for faults. Give it a good clean, make it all, make it look respectable. Fix this wing mirror over here as well to get this in for an MOT, and all fingers crossed this thing might be running this week coming. It'll be running hopefully tomorrow, but I mean roadworthy by maybe the next week. A huge thank you to Butch, my friend Butch, who came out today to help out. He taught me a lot actually about some of the relays here and some of the things to look out for. I can't even tell you how many things I've picked up about bike maintenance and bike, checking the bike. Feeling far more confident now about working on this bike, kind of flying solo a little bit. It's still got a lot to do. I mean, have to get the fairings back on, which can be seemingly a bit of a job and a half. There are some small fairings at the front here that have come loose. I don't know if I can show you them at all. If I can work our way around the bike here, when we get low, like this little fairing here is supposed to be attached to the frame at the back there, but that's knackered. Had to get that replaced or fixed. But otherwise, we are looking on course to have this bike on the road, hopefully in the next kind of 6 days or so. So I will cut the video here. I'll cut the video here. I'll come. In fact, no, I won't cut the video here. I'll stop the video here and then add on tomorrow's video where hopefully you'll see this thing kick on. So don't go away yet. I was going to try and get this thing started tomorrow on video, and wish me luck. Okay, so it is Sunday. It is 11:30 in the morning, nearly the afternoon, and I had a few shandies last night and thought to get a lie in today. That did not happen because one of our showers started pouring water everywhere, so I had to get up kind of like at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I've been up for ages, refreshed, alive, fully awake of course, and now going to go and get some fuel for the bike. Now the problem is there is a fuel point here in the village. However, on a Sunday it closes, so that's a bit of a pain in the butt. So I have to drive to nearby Inverurie, which is going to be about like a 20-minute kind of round trip to get fuel. It's cool. Get some fuel, put it in the bike, and see if it starts. Fingers crossed. I'm really hoping. I've already cleaned out the air filter base, so the air filter took it off this morning, and there was lots of gubbins and dust and stones and little bits and pieces lying in there, so that's all been hoovered out and cleaned. I do need to order a new air filter. I have ordered a new oil filter and oil, so that should be coming hopefully in the next couple of days. And I have also ordered a heap of new bolts for the fairings, because a lot of the bolts and the fairings were either missing, the wrong ones, or they were shearing apart a little bit, rusty as heck. So I've ordered some new bolts as well, so those should be coming in the next, those should be coming in the next few days, and get that all fitted, get the fairings back on. If things run today, get the fairings back on, book the MOT, get in for an MOT, and see if the MOT picks up on things maybe we've missed. And fingers crossed, get this bike on the road sooner rather than later. But I'll keep you updated. Wish me luck. Okay, so here's a fun thing. The audio from this clips here didn't work, and I'll tell you why it didn't work, because I bought a wireless microphone thing I could plug onto my shirt. If you look between my substantial breasts there, you'll see it pinned to my chest. However, it turns out that if you forget to turn the thing on, you get video, but you get no audio. So here I am standing away, filling fuel into the bike that I just picked up from the garage, waffling away to myself. It seems to be just to the nethers. And absolutely nothing got recorded. So I'm going to give you a bit of a voiceover of what happens here. So obviously, getting the fuel in, you know, that the plan is get the fuel in. It's only about 6 litres in this can holds. So get the fuel into there. And then I'm going to give the bike like 2 or 3 turns of the keys, just to get that fuel pump, just to pull through some fuel, get it kind of primed and ready to go. Obviously, my little helper here has been a pain in the butt, but that's fine. Fuel can away. Time to... I'm very excited here, by the way. This is like great news. I can't wait to get this thing working. Just get the lid back on, so the fuel cap back on, key back in ignition, and then stand back, look dramatic, hands on hips, and then walk away like a real, in a kind of manly style, turn the camera off. Now, I think here is where I try to first start it. So again, I'm waffling away to the camera, or so I believe I'm waffling away to the camera. Microphone's turned off. And my little helper there, of course, with having a wee seat beside the camera to spectate. Tried cranking it, it's not biting, kept cranking it. My wonderful mechanic friend Butch had said, look, you might need to crank it a good few times, let the fuel get pulled through, give it a slight touch on the throttle to get, you know, to give it a little bit of juice through. So this is what's happening here. Nothing's biting. It's turning, it's not biting. The battery's been charged overnight on the trickle charger, so the battery's full. However, because you're cranking and nothing's biting, that battery is just getting sucked down and sucked down and sucked down. And as is my soul, as I'm trying repeatedly to crank this bike, you can't even hear it, but you can't even hear it doing its cranking thing. So really frustrating here, and I'm thinking, right, what the heck do I do? The battery's getting obviously lower, so the turning is getting slower. So my thinking is, right, I'm going to have to wire this thing up to the car with jump leads to the battery, and that'll give me the extra oomph I need to get the, hopefully get the thing started. Because I'm thinking, if I keep cranking it, eventually that fuel's going to come through, and eventually it's going to fire on, and that will be exciting. And it didn't happen. So, as you can see there, frustration, manly pose, hands on hips, dead microphone between breasts, frustrated. So, so of course, you can just see there in the picture there, my wife's car. She's about to move that just shortly. I'll pull my car in then and crank up the bike to my car and try and get some kind of, you know, performance out of it. Look at that manly stride. So, there we go. The skies are threatening a little bit of rain. There was a wee sprinkle, a little tinkle or two of raindrops as I was getting set up here. But thankfully it held off. We are now connected to my car. My car's running. Although you can't hear it, it is turning my bike over faster. The battery's getting a good kind of pulse through it. And what you can't hear is there's a couple of points where it threatens to bite. And it's just like, you can hear the rumble as it's just starting to kick, but then it dies again. I don't know if it's maybe fuel starvation or what's going on here. I've spent about, this is heavily cut down. I've spent about 20 minutes just repeatedly cranking, trying to get this thing to bite, and it's just not happening. It's threatening it though, so you get that occasional rumble, and it's threatening to go, so I keep at it. I'm thinking it's going to go eventually, you know, the plugs are clean, they're new, everything's fine, but it's just not biting. Still at it. You can see there a short clip there, a short kind of edit. Hands on hips, manly pose, dead microphone between breasts. Frustration, like, just felt so let down. Not even that. It's more frustration. I'm not really overly stressed about it. I would have loved to have had it kick on today. That would have been great, but it's not happening. Sunglasses off, again, manly pose, frustrated. It's not biting. It's not for biting, so I'm going to have to go back to the drawing book and find exactly what's going wrong here. Because I've tried everything here. I've got the clutch in at some point. It's in neutral, definitely. I've lifted the kickstand in a second and tried it with kickstand up as well too. Pretty sure with these bikes, the kickstand down during initial starting isn't an issue, but I lifted it anyway just in case. But it's just not catching. Ah, man. So that kind of sucks. So the next plan is I'm pretty much going to have to pull the bike back in the garage and then go inside, headbutt a few walls, maybe lie in bed and sob for a while, manly pose again. Only one hand and hip this time though, so that's good. And just be frustrated. Yep, walk away in a huff. That's it. Not happy. Gonna go away for an angry poop, basically. Woe's me. So, unsuccessful today. A little bit demoralising, but hey ho, it's a little minor hurdle in getting the bike going. I'm sure. Figure out. So the fuel pump's definitely kicking on. The fuel is definitely passing through the line. It's new fuel. I don't know if maybe I need to crank it a bit longer to purge any of the old fuel out, but I think we got that all yesterday. So it should be clear and it should be pulling through the good stuff now. You could hear it threaten to bite a couple of times there, but it just wasn't quite catching. So back to the drawing board, consult with the elite mechanic Butch and see what he thinks, and try again probably through the week. So I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for hanging around, and toodaloo till then. Love you.